Everyone, I am Carmen Michael, the professional mic holder.
Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from Njpw Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Crest.
This is Bobby Olson.
This is Anthrax of H2O.
My name's Christopher Landon, Anthony Streeter.
My name is Frank Minetti.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Red Air and one half of the PH Boys from Hood Classic Entertainment, representing the Hood Boys, the PH Boys, Purple Haze, Prince Alexander.
This is Martin Stone, the original strong style hooligan.
And today, you have the privilege
of drinking at Moe's.
And you know I'm drinking with Mo.
And you are drinking at Moe's.
Taking time out before we get this show started, that I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody. This is Drinkin' at Moe's, my 2 cents. Big Mo here, your forever drinking champion. We got Nate here.
You messed up my nickname. Come on,
dude. The co-host with the most.
I'm the co-host with the most.
You know what? Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Give me a fucking break. I'm just starting it. God damn it.
I know.
But anyway.
Because you didn't like my other one. So.
Nah, I don't even remember what your other one was.
Innovator of non-compliance.
Yeah. The other one, yeah, that's better. Anyways, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the damn notification bell, hit that like button with a muscle buster like your Samoa Joe. Let's fucking go. Don't forget the audio platforms too. Most of the major ones were on there. So today, came across an article where Sportster they ranked their top 10 Dark Side of the Ring episodes. So, here we go. I'll name off their ones from going from 10 down to 1. And then what we're going to do is if I would switch anything in, we'll go over that too. So, number 10, the Plane Ride from Hell episode. Which it was a good one. Mm-hmm. It was a good episode. There was a lot that happened because of it. But, things have calmed down from that. But it was still a good episode. Number 9, the death of Gino Hernandez. Okay. If you remember him, he was one of the staples of world-class championship wrestling. And he was a good talent, had his substance issues, and that ended up, long story short, was the demise of Gino Hernandez. They had, I believe they had one of his managers, Gary Hart, on, and understandably got emotional. You know, like I would understand, you know, thinking, you know, if you were only able to do this or that, then maybe they would still be around.
It's always here. Just watching that documentary, he's very emotional about Gino Hernandez. And it's just me watching it, knowing Gary Hart was like managers back in the 80s and 90s. One of those things, just seeing him like that.
Yeah, that was something. All right, number 8, the assassination of Dino Bravo. That was an interesting story because, like, I knew of Dino Bravo, and it all happened when I was, like, still in elementary school, I believe. I don't fucking remember that far back. But to know the whole story behind, you know, when he left WWE and then the stuff that he got into, and the fact that he got riddled with bullet holes while he was sitting on his recliner, that was like, holy shit. I didn't like, I had heard little bits of the story, but then to get the whole story like that, I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right, next one, number 7. This is one that I would switch for something else. It was an interesting story, but putting it in my top 10? Eh. Grizzly Smith, Jake Roberts' dad, and talking about all of the allegations with his dad and stuff. It was a good story, you know, one that would definitely fit with the whole theme of the dark side of the ring. I give it that. But, you know, just for me, I wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Okay.
I would, and you know what? The other one that I would put in, that I would switch out, is actually number 6 on their list. The slap heard around the world. Dave Schultz slapping the 2020 guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember the reporter's name, but like, I knew of the story, and it was interesting seeing, you know, the way they were able to talk about it. But top 10 worthy for me, not so much.
You're still talking about the Grizzly Smith, right?
That and the slap heard around the world.
I got you. So those are the two that you would.
Those were the two out of their episode that, or their list, that I would switch out for something else.
The Dave Schultz one, I'd probably do the same thing. That, you want to talk about something that's really bitter in the business? That dude's just pissed off, period.
Yeah, I actually think he recently passed away too. I don't know. I don't want to. If he did, I don't want to talk ill about the dead.
No. But if he did pass away, he's probably pissed off that he went before Hogan. Because he had a major beef with Hogan and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that he did. Now, the two that I would switch in for those, which when I looked at the list and I saw that these two weren't in the top 10,
right,
it shocked the hell out of me because they're two of my favorite episodes. The two-parter on the Benoit tragedy, like, I think the first two-parter they did,
yeah, it is,
and that's one that I literally, I mean, it's somewhat hard to watch, you know, especially for those of us that were fans of his.
Yeah.
And, just the whole tragedy of it all. And how, now it's like Chris is basically erased from wrestling history pretty much.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, understandable. You don't want to associate your company with somebody that did all that.
But at the same time, in his past, where maybe he can break the bend. Because all this happened to do with probably one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, period.
Oh, yeah.
End of statement. You can believe me,
Yeah.
like me.
Oh, yeah. No, there's...
someone else is better.
There is definitely something that could be said about maybe not necessarily going the full extent of how they did with basically erasing him from history, but
well, and I kind of say that. Sorry, but have a son for
David.
I'm not talking about the child he had with woman Nancy. I'm talking about beforehand he had one that I'll be damned if you put on some match, put on some weight. The dude could be a striking image of
oh yeah, no, and
same,
everything David. Yeah, everything I hear about him.
He doesn't. I don't think he wants to get into wrestling.
I think he does actually.
Aspects. I think he wants to get more into the backstage, but him has been law. They're kind of, a lot of WWE guys run into him when they're in the area and they get a picture. And if he shows, and I think that's wrong.
Oh yeah, no, to blacklist him for that, yeah, no, that ain't right.
I think it's a blacklisting because his last name has been wrong.
That could be, but then hell, especially with WWE, I mean, they'd probably change his name anyways. But know,
true. But you don't even have to change his name if you put him in a backstage role.
That is true.
You put him in creative. You have him write. You have him do some writing for something.
Yeah, no, that is true, and I'm also thinking with Chris that maybe enough time has passed that they can maybe not have it so taboo for archive footage to mention him.
Yeah.
Not anything new, just the archive stuff. And then, there's been the argument made about putting him in the Hall of Fame, and that, I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, that won't happen. You'll have a lot of people that are hooping about it.
Yeah. As much as Chris Benoit, the wrestler, deserves it, the mere fact of everything that he did in those final days would completely overshadow the whole event. And they don't want that. Now,
100%.
I would like to think that they would still be able to put in his wife Nancy.
Yeah.
Because she had one hell of a career.
She did.
Managing, and she would very much be deserving of that honor. I would hate to think that the tragedy that happened would be the reason why they wouldn't put her in, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The other one that I would put in that is legit my favorite episode of, this would be my number one ranked episode.
Ooh. You better not say Marty Jannetty, because I will.
I haven't even seen that one. But I am talking about Bruiser Brody.
Yes.
and talking about, the whole, his story and everything that happened in Puerto Rico. And that...
The only problem is the whole Puerto Rican thing. It's so clouded. It kind of shows the controversial side of wrestling. Say Mick Foley goes into a big match. Bruiser Brody was a fan, and there's a lot of people that know who did it.
Yeah.
Because it's Puerto Rico, and like the Grease Holmes.
Yeah.
The person that is accused of killing Bruiser Brody may have done something, some form of time. But Mick Foley said he felt, if I remember correctly, he said he felt like a whore by shaking the same man that killed his hero.
Yeah. No, I don't think anything actually ever happened with the guy. I'm not even going to mention his name, but yeah, no, it's still.
Remember it, and like,
yeah, it doesn't even matter because I don't want to put him over the whole thing. All right, now.
I liked it.
Oh yeah, that was a great episode. Still one of my favorites. All right, now for the articles number 5, the double life of Chris Canyon.
Oh, that was a pretty good one.
That was a good one. It was interesting seeing, not really realizing until after the fact everything that he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually had this talk with a handful of LGBT wrestlers that it's sad to think that if he would have just held on for a little bit longer,
oh hell yeah,
that he would have been able to see not only the love and respect for him, but the way everything is with LGBT wrestlers now. Hell, one of the big events of a lot of WrestleMania weekends, and really anytime the GCW does the collective, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, that's one of the big events of that.
Hell yeah.
And hell, I've had...
And we can go even further. Anthony Bowens.
Anthony Bowens.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6 years ago, if he would have gone out in the middle of the ring gay, he wouldn't be wrestling anymore. He'd be gone. But number one, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna cause any form of controversy by saying something like that. But you could, one, that way, and two, you can actually see the relief on the crowd react to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rosser.
You could say it one way and someone says it another.
Yeah.
But he's another one that he felt that he was gay. One of his big worries was the locker room. People don't care.
Yeah. That's
the thing when I watched that Dark Side. That's the one that bothered me because he was so paranoid that people were gonna ostracize him if they found out what.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, you know what, so what? Who cares?
Yeah. No, that's like, I don't want to
make us money. Cool.
Yeah. No, and that's my whole thing with it is, as long as you're being a good person and you're as happy as you can be. I mean, obviously people aren't happy all the time, but if you're as happy as you can be, whoever you want to be with, if you're living your life and you're good, you do you. I'm good. If you're treating other people with respect, especially you're treating me with respect, I got you. We're good. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see if he would have been able to make it to now and maybe died of old age, if anything. It would have been interesting because I would like to think that he would be extremely relieved with the way, like, a lot of places, I mean, I know there's still a lot of places now that, you know, kind of have, I guess, backwards thinking, for the lack of a better way to put it. Those places are still out there, but for the larger part, way more accepting and welcoming now than back then. I would like to think that. All right, number 4 on their list. This is one, it might have been, I'd say, it would definitely be in my top 5. The final days of Owen Hart. That was a good damn episode.
That was a very good episode.
And then, you know, I remember commenting this shortly after that episode aired, and it's kind of even more funny now because of things that have happened with, well, Vince McMahon, that I said, if you watch that episode and you don't think Vince McMahon is evil, you got something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, hearing everything that he was doing with regards to that.
Well, okay, you sit there and you thought, you know, everything. If you listen to, what's the YouTube channel? Inside the Ropes. Well, even when he promo against Vince right before when they had the winner take all.
Yeah.
And he goes, really, what I'm going to say? He goes, nope, make your money. If it was me, I would have punched Heyman in the face after the shit that he said. He doesn't. Vince doesn't care as long as you're able to make him money. He wanted to strike the iron while it was still hot. Does that make him a good person? Hell no.
Yeah.
That's
No.
That's probably one of the reasons why Owen Hart is in the Hall of Fame right now. Njpw is able to do it every year.
No, I think, yeah, that, because, you know, his wife Martha
Has
and
taken this whole
understandably
thing.
holds them responsible, and has
Very much so.
stated many times that she doesn't want him associated with the promotion that ended up costing him his
Now,
life.
Here's the other side. This goes back to the Benoit thing. WWE is under new.
Yeah.
What's to say that Hunter has gone out, goes out, reaches out the new regime. We bring him home.
That, you know,
Because if that were to happen, I guarantee.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely, it would definitely be a headliner. I'm just trying to think that I don't know how deep everything goes with it, because yeah, the main guys in charge back then are gone.
Well, all of them. All of them.
Yeah, I think the vast majority at least. But I don't know. It's one of those things. Time will tell. It would be nice, but with the way things went down, I don't know. All right, number 3 on Sportster's list, the Brian Pillman episode.
Ooh.
That was a good one. Getting to hear the
good one.
backstories behind everything, and especially the backstory behind how he convinced Bischoff to let him go to ECW, and then he ends up going to WWE after, when he told Bischoff that he'd come back to WCW, and then that didn't happen. Yeah, I particularly love that part.
The thing that it did there. They actually brought up, I think it was Conrad Thompson. One of, if he doesn't have any content for like some of his other podcasts, and Dark Side of the Ring, when they're figuring these things out, the episode come out that following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it would come out, he would have the Dark Side of the Ring, and they talked about right, it actually goes, you know what you've done. And they're like, no, what have we done? He goes, you made Pillman's kid a perpetual babyface.
Yeah.
Now let's see what AEW does with it. What AEW do with it? Nothing.
Yep, and now he's going by Lexus King. That
WWE could have that as well, but they just turned around and said, what if you erased who you are and you just made yourself someone else? Which, hey, if the whole Lexus King thing is okay, I'll go with it.
My whole thing, especially with the Lexus King, is it looks like he airbrushed his facial hair on.
Yeah.
It's like, good freaking grief. Let him just be clean shaven at that fucking point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Number 2.
Ooh, we're in the top 2.
And this one was definitely a good one in my opinion.
So we're in the top 2, and the one that I actually enjoyed the most isn't on it yet. So.
Collision in Korea.
That one was just weird.
That's what made it good.
And here's the thing. It was weird because that's where no one knows. Okay, this geopolitical stuff. No one knows what goes on in North Korea. No one. No. Someone in some darkened office in the White House or in Washington, D.C. knows, but no one else knows what goes on in North Korea. You watch this episode.
I've seen plenty of stuff on North Korea. I've had, actually, this goes back to my days in the Navy. I actually have had to do briefings on North Korea, and I was actually deployed around the time that Kim Jong-il passed away. And, like, I have this fascination with, the country, from all of that, and, just the curiosity of it all, because, like you said, not very many people know what the hell goes on in that country. Even the people that
Are there?
even people that are there, but like the people that have been able to go there as tourists. Like, I've seen plenty of footage of people going there as tourists, and it's very much, you have to have one of their assigned people with you at all times. You have to, like, you literally cannot leave the hotel without that person. Like, unless you're on the damn bus, you cannot be out by yourself. Like, hell, going back to the Collision in Korea episode, they had the story of Bischoff wanting to go out for a jog and almost getting chewed out when he got back. Or I don't even know if he actually got out, because...
Oh, I remember he said he went for a jog at like
okay, yeah,
5 in the morning.
okay, yeah, I do remember that.
And when the fog started lifting, then he saw everyone. If I remember correctly, he said he saw all the streets like zombies.
Yeah, no, then that's pretty much any footage I've ever seen of that country, yeah. And then the whole situation with Scott Norton. Oh my God.
Featured very prominently on there, because I guess he had a lot to say. Now, mind you,
yeah.
Scott Norton's a guy that, one, I'm not going to fuck with. Two, has spent a lot of time in.
Yeah. And it was just interesting because, you know, you hear like people thinking, oh yeah, the rooms are bugged and stuff. He was literally on a phone call with his wife, and he apparently said something bad about the country. And then all of a sudden the phone call gets cut off, and he's getting whisked away to this room, and people think that he's going to be going to one of those freaking work camps that they got all over the damn country. Yeah. Luckily that didn't happen, but yeah, it was just...
Now, going off of your military experience, I was actually stationed in Korea for a year. Let me tell you, it's kind of sobering when you have a safety briefing on a Friday or a weekend Friday, and they tell you before they dismiss you for every one of you, when you're going out, about 30 artillery shells. And it's about the thing when you're first hearing it, you're like, yeah, I want to go drinking.
Yeah. And I don't know, I've been curious myself. Like, I know that right now, U.S. passports are not allowed to even travel through the country. But I would be interested in just going to the DMZ from the south and just seeing it from there.
It's sobering.
Yeah.
The pictures you see on like online and stuff, it doesn't do it justice. It's
yeah.
No one really wants to say a word.
Yeah, because I've seen people in those buildings that kind of straddle the border. Mm-hmm. Like, one person was just pointing outside, and they're like, "No finger point." And yeah, it's.
Well, you get off the bus and you get off that building on the other side. I guess they call it Freedom Plaza for whatever reason. But they got that building, and you automatically feel like you're being watched. So it's one of those where, like, you're looking at the windows going, someone is watching me. I guarantee goddamn TV.
Yeah, and yeah, there was talk that like that this event got brought up when AEW went and had that All In Wembley, because, you know, the talk of the most attended event and all that, and people would say not including the North Korea show because those people were pretty much forced into being there.
Well, and when they say that they, you know, the attendance, whatever it was, they have to add in because the North Koreans, hey, they may have had 1,000 in there, and
No, you don't know. You don't know if they didn't pay.
well, they paid somehow.
Because yeah, they do make. I don't remember how much the average person makes, but they were pretty much forced into being there. But then you got to think, yeah, they were probably made to pay too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that, like, just hearing everybody's stories about their experience during all of that.
It was just a weird episode.
Yeah,
it's weird because you don't know what goes on in North Korea.
Yeah.
This is like one of the few episodes where people can actually say.
Oh yeah. All right, now for their number 1 episode. Cocaine and Cowboys, the Herb Abrams story. Running over the UWF.
I think of UWF and I think of those crazy ass belts they came up with.
Yeah. But yeah, oh god, just hearing some of the stories, and then, good lord, the Herb Abrams and some of the cocaine stories, and hearing when people heard about Herb Abrams passing, and hearing like different stories on how people heard that he passed, and wow.
Yeah,
he was an interesting individual.
If you want to call it.
Yeah, he was very much that. He was an interesting individual, to put it politely.
Politely?
Yeah. All right, now I actually have some honorable mentions. Episodes that were great, and you know, they probably could have made the top 10. First one, Macho and Liz. That, like, hearing, you know, yeah, everybody knows some of the stories of, you know, Macho Man being kind of possessive of Liz.
Oh yeah.
But to, like, hear a lot of them that, you know, people probably wouldn't have heard without the episode.
Exactly.
It was something else. Another one, the story on XPW. The original run, not the one where
right.
they're on now, where their social media people want to block me.
Why would somebody want to block you on social media?
I don't know. All I did was say that their first King of the Deathmatch show that they had after the relaunch, they had a date for it, but then that date came and went, and they weren't updating anything on their website. And I tried to point that out, and they tried telling me no. And then I literally took a screenshot of it and here. And oh god, I mentioned before that they hadn't brought up any names for the tournament, and literally a little while later they started with some names, and it was a whole thing.
Their social media, I guarantee they're in the back going, this fucking guy here, what the hell?
Hey, it's whatever. But yeah, no.
Now, the funny thing about that one is hearing New Jack talk about XPW. You remember that he got paid?
I'd have to go back and watch it.
He said the owner just opened up the warehouse and said, take what kinds of DVDs and for like 5 minutes before his match, he's in the back here.
Yeah, because for people that might not be aware, I don't believe. I mean, the same guy runs it now, but it was basically ran by a porn company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ran by a porn company. It was ran. I can't remember the name of it, and I won't name it because search to go shooting through the roof.
Yeah.
Dude's wife was a porn actress. Two or three finales that were.
Yeah.
Apparently, during some of their tapings, like a lot of the guys were talking about how, they're getting ready, but right down, dressing room right next door, they're
Yeah. It was like the original run of that company. I was actually a fan.
I was too.
But yeah, no, let's just say some of the stuff that has come up with this current run, like I've always said, I'm not gonna tell anybody not to go to a show. If you're a fan of it, by all means, wrestling is subjective. Some people are going to be fans of one thing that I might hate, and that is fine. Neither are wrong.
The only main problem I had with that episode was when they talked to the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, that was a whole.
And if you talk to like some of the ECW guys that were there, they said they basically. For those that don't know, ECW went to, I think they were in LA.
Yeah.
And heads of his time. They're all wearing regular shirts throughout the show so they wouldn't stand out. And then when they got ready for the main event, they took their shirts off, they've all got and they started pausing. They got kicked out, going to the parking lot, and apparently there was a brawl. If you talk to the XPW guys that were there, it was a draw. Everyone just got beat up, and then everyone left. Talked to each.
You all right there?
A cold go through the house the last couple of weeks, so I'm getting over it. Got the 80. They got their ass. That's one of the things. It's like you don't know who's telling who what.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. But yeah, I'm trying to think here. The one part that I had heard, like, I had read stuff on this situation, but with the wrestler Messiah, when those guys came in and he got part of his thumb cut off by those guys, that was something else. Like to actually hear the guy himself tell the story. And I don't know if you realize this, I actually have somewhat of a tie to the original XPW.
Uh-oh. Is this something you've never told me?
No, I believe I might have told you this before. That in the second ever independent show I ever went to, one of the guys that was in the original XPW and is actually the head guy at one of the most prestigious wrestling schools in Southern California, Santino Brothers, was actually there in the show. Joey Munoz, or he was known as Joey Chaos, during that, and he was
didn't he go like Kid Chaos?
Kid Chaos, and I think Joey Chaos at some points, but yeah. I've actually met him a handful of times down there, and with his schedule, he's so fucking busy, but I've actually talked with him about coming on for one of the interview episodes.
You told me that.
Yeah, so that I'm still trying to nail that one down, so we'll see. But yeah, that episode, honorable mention. Now another one, the last one for my honorable mentions, the story on FMW.
That right there.
That was
That'd
a good
be my
one.
top because I've said it before. I'm a huge FMW fan.
I'm a huge deathmatch wrestling fan in general.
Well, you know, and with that being said, FMW would have been my number one. The XPW one. Probably.
Yeah, I don't. XPW, it was a good one. I probably would have put it probably closer to number 10 because the Benoit and Bruiser Brody ones were probably 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, the FMW would be number one. Bruiser Brody would probably be 3. XPW would be
Yeah,
five.
there was a more recent one that was actually pretty good, and you know what? I'll go ahead and mention that one for an honorable mention. The one on the Sandman.
Okay, now I already told you I have not seen any of season 5.
That's a good one. And one that you probably have seen that I don't know why. I forgot about this one. Nick Gage.
Nick Gage is one of them.
That was a good one.
That one was crazy as well.
Yeah. Hearing the stories behind different events was definitely interesting.
One of the ones that I actually enjoyed, season 4 when they did story on Mac.
Ah, yes, that was a good one.
That one was very good, and it's one of those ones where, you know, kind of like with that. It was during the pandemic, so they had to. If you can talk to the guy that I'm all.
Oh yeah.
Active TA one. That one, I have to. You know, watching that. Be a champion. Sit there. To be champion. XYZ happened. Hear it from the man himself saying, "Oh yeah, I was going to be the champion." You know, by deposit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Well, that is about all I got for this one. I don't know if you got anything else.
As long as the Visionetti one was nowhere near it, I'm happy.
Oh God, no.
I actually finished season 4. Oh God, like a couple months ago, and they got to Marty Jannetty. I'm like, okay, cool. I get to hear about.
The only thing I'll say about him is I've actually met him. It was the last ever independent show I went to before I moved back from my enlistment. But yeah, that is about all I have for this one. Hope everybody has a good week. Let's fucking go. Fucking button. Fucking hits. Fuck.